is definitely going to be different not having those matchups that you would expect every year.
Because the NHL drafts like 17-year-olds. The NHL has to tread the water really carefully. They don't even have a goalie. Like, what is the draw? But going into this year because of the Seattle Kraken's expansion draft. But
where is this going?
So listen, hear me out. It's going somewhere.
It's just not part of hockey. Like,
really looks like that weird dad I don't want me to pick up from school. Like,
welcome to Slapshot Sweethearts.
Hey guys, I'm Megan. That's Shannon. We're the Slapshot Sweethearts. Let's talk hockey.
So we're going to go through, we picked about 8 teams, and we're going to go through their goalie situations. And each of them has a little bit of a different story on why we picked it. Some of them just have really nice masks. Some of them...
And all I have to say about it is, why is every goalie 25?
Not in Boston, they're not.
Everywhere else, there's at least one.
All right, so...
Boston's getting a little old.
Yeah, so that's actually why they're up here. You know, Tuukka Rask is still facing backlash for leaving the bubble last season to take care of his daughter, and it is absolutely crazy that people are like, you know what, he shouldn't put up with it. He should just retire. Like, he already has multiple Vezina nominations. He has a Stanley Cup. Why deal with it? Like, he has made a career for himself. There's no reason to do it anymore. And he's 33 years old. Like, he could retire. I think it'd be a little young, but, like, I'd be upset, not shocked.
Yeah, I think it'd be a little young to like fully retire. I could have seen taking another season off while it was still in bubble format, but I just like don't understand the flack he got for that. Like, and is still getting. Like, you can't expect people to just forget everything that's happening with their families during a season. Like, that's just not realistic.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And it's crazy that he is he was nominated for the Vezina last year. And no one cared. And I think it was really interesting. I was listening to the Black and Gold podcast the other day, and it was an older episode, but they were saying that what would have happened if he... Also, I just realized I spelled Tuukka's name wrong on this, so I'm so sorry. I'm literally an idiot. But they were saying that what would have happened if he stayed with the team and didn't go home, and people found out that his daughter went to the hospital and he stayed in the bubble. Like, he literally was not going to win either way, and he's still not going to win, and he faces so much shit for no reason.
Yeah, but all I have to say, look at his helmet there.
You know,
he's got
favorite.
I think the teeth coming down everywhere, both like claws on the side, is so cool.
Yeah, and you know, Halak's mask sucks, but like, he's a backup.
Yeah, so. It's like, put a logo anywhere, like whatever. It's like, what, brick logo almost?
Yeah,
like,
but the next one we're gonna look at, the Devils goalie so Mackenzie Blackwood is 24. He was supposed to do, you know, part-time duty with Corey Crawford. This was part of the reason that I picked the Devils as my dark horse.
Dark horse, yeah.
Because they had the dual threat goalie. They had, you know, pretty much everything they needed in terms of like a baseline, and then they could fill that out before the trade deadline, like developing the prospects, all of this. And then Corey Crawford retired. So now Mackenzie Blackwood, who is an incredible prospect, I think he actually gets a lot of, or he doesn't get enough attention in terms of like Carter Hart, Jordan Binnington, all those younger guys. He doesn't get that attention because he's on the Devils, which is absolutely insane.
Which is such an unfortunate thing that it happens so much of like teams that aren't constantly in the headlines for being like number one just kind of get forgotten, which really isn't fair to the players who can really like make a splash on those teams. And I think especially, I mean, I wasn't really considering them a contender before, but like, I think Blackwood could do something this season.
And like, he's got like a million masks, which is why there's 3 pictures of just...
They're amazing. Yeah.
So I really like the one on the left that's brick. So Halak's brick mask sucks, but this one's really cool.
I don't really like the basic brick. I just feel like that's just so boring. Like, give me some, like, if there was like maybe like some like mural art on the brick, like you see on like started buildings and stuff. Like, they play in Newark. There's like wall murals everywhere. It's incredible. Like, come on, put a wall mural up there. I'm here for it. Put a nice devil. Get our buddy over there.
So which one of these 3 do you like better then?
I do like on the far side of me, how like has like the graffiti letters. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. So for everyone on Spotify, they're all white, black, and red The one that Megan really likes looks pretty electric, kind of graffiti. The one that I like is more base. It's just red and white stripes with brick design. And then there's one in the middle that's pretty ugly. It's just just kind of like zebra stripes. But yeah, I'm interested to see Mackenzie Blackwood. He played well against the Bruins, but again, the Bruins have an awful like offensive situation happening right now. So I don't know that that's going to be a full gauge. I'm excited to see how he fares against one of the other higher level teams in the East, maybe the Flyers or the Capitals. I don't know. I think it's a really tough situation that he was put in as a young player, seeing that person that was supposed to be almost a mentor to him retire unexpectedly. But again, there's nothing he can really do about it except, you know, act more mature than his 24 years of age. And we'll see.
True. Who we got next, Shan?
Who do we have next? Oh, the Islanders.
I love these masks. I love the bold lettering. I like the different shades of blue. I think I love these. I love ones that have a lot going on. I think they're fun to look at.
I think these are boring.
I think you're boring.
I mean, many people have said it, you know, to everyone watching me, even though Megan thinks I'm boring. Thank you. But you know, I think Sarokin's mask actually is pretty cool, but I can't find a single picture of it online except for this one. It's
not
got,
enough cred.
The classic Islander fisherman on it. And it has him, you know, looking electrified, spray paint, pretty similar to the last Mackenzie Blackwood mask. And Semyon Varlamov's, which again, I really just don't like him, but we'll get into that in a second, has on one side it says Long Island in brick letters and Brooklyn on the other. And it's like fine. I think it does a good job commemorating the fact that they're from Long Island but are playing in Brooklyn and really getting those two sides of it. But, you know, it's not my favorite.
So not your favorite mask, not your favorite guy?
Oh my gosh. So in 2013, Semyon Varlamov was arrested for domestic violence and assault. And it turned out that the charges were dropped because they didn't have enough evidence. However, his girlfriend at the time accused him of dragging her by the hair, doing all of these awful things, beating her. And she said that he he said to her, "I could have killed you during this entire ordeal." And so she pressed charges. The Avalanche, who he was playing with at the time, were completely aware of the situation. Like I said, the charges were dropped. And then he sued either the city of Denver or the state of Colorado, something like that. And he got $126,000 in money back from the state for slander.
For beating his girlfriend? Like, that's unreal.
He got negative press for beating his girlfriend.
That's unreal.
It's just like, you know,
of all the people you're going to hate on a goalie who like went to go take care of his daughter when we have like people over here. Like, what are you doing?
And you know what? Maybe he was innocent. Maybe he was, but like it looked really bad. Like there was quite a bit of evidence via the media, which I understand that the media is not like the end all be all. And there's quite a bit of documentaries on Netflix about how the media actually screws with juries. But I don't know. Like I just did not, this whole case didn't rub me the right way. And I was like, what? Like, why is he getting money from the state for this entire ordeal? And it just, I have a general issue with all of the athletes that go through criminal situations and are allowed to come back to the league. I hate Michael Vick, first of all, but I have a pit bull, so that's like a bias. Tariq Hill.
And I also just like hate that everyone's like, oh, he did his time. Still
he
did it.
Time? No,
he did it.
He was nominated last year to be one of the honorary captains at the Pro Bowl. And I was like, is there no one else
does no one remember?
There's no one else in professional football or even like an honorary person in the world you can choose. And you have to choose this guy who went to jail for killing animals. Like,
I can't.
It bothers me. It rubs me the wrong way. So Semyon Varlamov might be innocent. You know, maybe we'll do an episode on, but last week
we'll do a true crime episode.
We'll do a true crime episode on the NHL. And we can include how last week we were on a different podcast and we were talking about how this guy in the 80s was drunk driving with his teammate in the car and killed his teammate and then didn't go to jail and played the rest of his career in the NHL.
Yeah, he like sat out like part of a season and then just
half
like
a season.
kept going.
Like how?
I don't know.
Also, I think he was. I want to say he was a goalie too, but that might be wrong. I was just like baffled. Like I couldn't even like get through the rest of the conversation because I was like,
I was just so shocked.
Go to jail. Like,
honestly, guys, if you want us to do a true crime podcast episode, let us know because we will do it.
I have lists of athletes I could just rant about from true crime. But
okay, we need to continue.
In terms of the Islanders goaltending, these two guys are both very good, and they have a lot going for them in terms of like the dual threat situation, which is why I get so annoyed watching them because they're very good, but also I don't want to like them. So
we got one who's 25. Just saying.
Yeah. Ilya Sarokin is going to be very good, better than he is right now. Obviously, he has a loss, but 2-1 is not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
25.
The Penguins.
And doing horribly. Tristan Jarry, I just don't know what's going on. I have no clue. Casey Smith, thank God for coming and like saving our butts against the Caps. Like I would not be happy if we were 0-3. But Jarry has, while not some great plays, some very cool masks. Cartoons everywhere.
A ton. These are only 3, but
so
every
many.
Picture I clicked on, they were all different.
So different. He has the coolest masks. They have cartoons everywhere. Cartoon penguins, like the penguins of Madagascar. Like they have electric coloring, and they're also bright, and they're just really fun to look at.
Yeah, his whole shtick is Tom and Jarry. So he's got Jerry all over it, which is really cute. And honestly, they all look really cool. They really stand out on the ice. And I just wish, looking at the Penguins, I wish that they were doing better because they really were confident letting Murray go for Jarry to step up. And he looks horrendous right now.
Horrible. I would not be surprised. I didn't even check who was starting for the other game against the Caps I mean, obviously we don't know what's happening past that, but Casey Smith really stepped up and like, I'm very grateful for it. He saved us in that shootout. The rest of the game, like, honestly, it was like a semi-decently scoring game. Like, but you also can't ignore, like, how many he stopped. Like, when you look at, like, the shooting counts, they were, like, fairly high. And it's like when you're going against a team where I think our defense is strung a little bit, like a really strong offensive team, it's gonna happen. Like shutouts are hard. That's why they're exciting when they happen. But I think he really, especially in the shootout, just really saved the day there. Because there were a few that he could have lost there.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a fan of a team that literally cannot win in a shootout, I respect it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking forward to watching Jarry more. I hope that he can kind of step it up. I think that he has a ton of potential. And it's only 2 losses. Like, we don't need to, you know, blow our heads off here, but it's such a short season that how many losses can you let go before it's a problem? And I just want in the end that it turns out we're going to be one of those teams like the few other this season that may just go back and forth, that don't need a goalie playing every single game, that they can be a little more split in who they have starting depending on who they're playing. Yeah, I mean, that dual goalie situation is what most teams are kind of leaning toward right now, unless they have an older, more traditional goalie. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think that even the Flyers with Carter Hart, who is a pretty reliable goalie, are still relying on Brian Elliott a fair amount of the time. And that's fine. Totally. All right.
Another 25-year-old. Just saying.
Yeah, this is, the Capitals didn't mean to get in the situation. They obviously signed Henrik Lundqvist. God bless you. I hope your heart is doing well. And then he couldn't play. And Ilya Samsonov was fantastic last year. He almost took Braden Holtby's job, but he has not looked his very best thus far.
I have a lot of respect for Samsonov. Like, he did make some great stops in the last, 2 games he played. Like, there were some rough ones that, there were a few circumstances he couldn't have gotten there. Yeah. And there were, a few, mistakes. I know one of the Penguins goals, I think he, basically gave us the puck when he was, trying to, clear it. And you're just kind of like, well, what are you going to do? And he was on edge for the rest of the game a little bit, but it was effective. He was making really good stops for a while.
Yeah, no, I think that this situation is actually not that bad. I think that they're both really young, but they're both very talented. And I think that a lot of people are kind of blowing it out of proportion because they went from Henrik Lundqvist, obviously, to two very young guys. And a lot of people don't trust Russian goalies for some reason. But, I mean, they've both looked fine so far. The Capitals are doing well. I find it really ironic that the Capitals are the oldest team in the league and their goalies are both under 25. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I love Samsonov's mask. For those who aren't looking at the picture, it's red and it has a cartoon Capitol dome coming out both sides with his number and his name across the bottom. And maybe it's just because I live in DC and it's like really...
You can see the Capitol from your roof.
Yeah, and I can see the Capitol. But it's really classic and it's, I don't know. There's just something I like about it. I don't really like Vanacek's, but I don't
Yeah, it's just kind of the classic red, white, and blue, which is kind of there.
Yeah, but I think if you compare the two, it makes me realize like how to do red, white, and blue well and how not to.
Yeah. I just wanted to put out there before we leave this Capitals page here that I have sent a gift to Shannon in the mail, which will arrive in the next few weeks, having to do with the Washington Capitals. And I cannot wait for her to share it with everyone.
Oh.
So just stay tuned.
She asked for my address and I didn't know what it was.
I was shocked you didn't ask why, but you know.
I mean, I assumed it was for like, we're participating in a variety of giveaways and things like that. I assumed it was for that.
We really like to win things, but this is not a winning. This is I sent Shannon a lovely gift.
Oh, now I have to get a gift in return.
You don't. No, you don't.
Oh,
okay,
so good.
What's next?
All right. After the Capitals, this is a good one. The Blackhawks.
Who clearly forgot to show up.
Peace and love to all of our Blackhawks fans. We did actually just welcome a new Blackhawks and Blue Jackets podcast to the Belly Up Podcast Network. So if you haven't checked out the Cannons and Tomahawks hockey podcast or the other podcasts on the Belly Up Podcast Network, I highly recommend those. They focus sort of in the Blackhawks and the Blue Jackets, but they kind of just use that as a spin to provide NHL coverage the same way that we do with the Bruins, Penguins, Capitals, Golden Knights, etc. And they're both really funny guys, so I highly recommend you check it out. But we have been going back and forth a lot with them because the goaltending with the Blackhawks is horrific. Absolutely horrific.
Which is really a shame because they kind of have cool masks.
They do, but like in this picture, Malcolm Subban looks absolutely defeated, and that is how he should feel.
I was gonna say, that's exactly what he should feel like. He's played horribly. Like, you're behind a team who hasn't even played yet, rightfully so. Like, I don't know what else you would expect here. And even when you tried to change up your goalie, you still get a loss.
Yeah, and I don't even know, like, will Kevin Lankinen play better?
Who's to say?
Like, when you bring in your third string from the AHL, which I guess he's not in the AHL right now because they haven't started, but potato, like, I don't know if he's going to play better than Malcolm Subban. Like,
but you really can't get much worse.
I'm just baffled. Like, he failed in Boston. He failed in Vegas. What part of the Blackhawks was like, you know what we should do? Sign him to a 2-year contract. Like, that's not smart.
We should totally give him a chance.
Like, totally, we should... Out of all of the things that we should do, we should give him a multi-year contract, not just a tryout, not a professional tryout, a multi-year contract.
Wow. That is just some thinking that we should, I don't know. I feel like this is like the start of a true crime podcast there, where you're like, signed him to a deal. Nothing went right. Where did he go?
Where did he go? Probably to the Rockford Ice Hogs in the NHL. Which, shout out to the Ice Hogs because your logo is fantastic.
I love their branding.
Like, I've been staring at Kevin Lankinen's.
That's the most exciting part about this Chicago page is their AHL branding.
Yeah, because I mean, Kevin Lankinen's eyes in this picture really say like,
they're a little scary.
Chance, like, I will do better than these two fools, but like
going from like his eyes who are like intense and Subban's are just like, I
wish I put his age on here because Malcolm Subban's only 27. Like, I feel like that's something that's worth noting, but also he has
short-lived career.
He played with the Bruins for multiple years. He played with the Golden Knights for multiple years after he went there in the expansion draft. And then he just came to Chicago and he's going to be there for at least another year. Like, I'm confused. Like,
I really want to know the exact terms of that contract because I just don't see how he sticks around.
I mean, maybe they cut him, but like, who starts that? Like, they don't have another.
I don't know.
Honestly,
Lincoln
maybe he goes to Seattle. Maybe they send him to the Kraken.
Maybe they don't want him. Wait,
Well,
Lincoln in?
him, but like Seattle.
Lincoln in 25.
He is? Okay.
Yep. Like everyone else.
Megan, what this is saying is that you need to date a goalie because they're right in the perfect age range.
I'm not mad at that. I am also 25, guys. I'm super single. Emphasis on super.
Oh my word.
Okay, moving on.
The Panthers. I feel like this is a little bit of old news. We just did our goalie episode a week after, but Sergei Bobrovsky was an absolute wall in net for like many years with the Blue Jackets and won a Vezina in 2017 and then like fell off the face of the earth, like literally like started playing horribly, like has not come and played yet, did not go to training camp. Like I hope he's well. Like I hope he's doing okay. They like really want him to come and like make a comeback because Spencer Knight, who I'm sure many of you know from the World Juniors, was an absolute shutout in Team USA's run for the championship. And he is only 19. And although he was drafted by the Panthers, he will not be joining the NHL until the 2022-2023 season. So the Panthers need Bobrovsky to get his act together for at least 2 more seasons.
Just like tide him over a little bit. You just need like an interim person, definitely not Subban, just like someone good to get them there.
Definitely not Malcolm Subban. They have other goalies in their depth. I just thought these were the 2 that we really needed to highlight here. And, you know, there hasn't been a ton of discussion about the ones that are on their current roster. They might be fine. Obviously, they're undefeated, and Bobrovsky hasn't played yet. So
they're undefeated because they've played 1 game also. Let that be known.
They're undefeated.
They're 1-0-0.
The Dallas Stars are undefeated too.
And everyone is still doing better than the Blackhawks. Let's just leave it there then.
But I'm excited for Spencer Knight to come. I think, you know, the last time that we had a real like top pick goalie was a long time ago. The article I read earlier compared him a lot to Carey Price just because of the Team USA route. And I'm excited for him to get here. I think the Panthers have a lot of potential, and I would love for them to become the higher tier team in Florida over Tampa.
Yeah, I could see it.
All right, now the best for last because there's just really a lot to unpack on this.
To me, okay, when you look at the lovely breakdown of top goalies from the NHL that they did this season, right here we got 2 top 15 goalies who both have wins under their belt this season, who both could very well lead this team. I think this is a 2 goalie team. You got my not husband because he has a very lovely family, Marc-Andre Fleury, who my roommate, I actually made him watch their post-game interview again in their last game. And he was like, wow, that's just a stand-up guy. I understand why you like him. And I was like, thank you. Like, I'm not trying to marry him. He's just a very like kind man. And I think his win was very well deserved. He is getting up there in age. But I mean, look at those gold pads. Marc-Andre Fleury has these beautiful gold pads, all gold everything.
They're not even just gold. They're like shiny gold. Like
because that's like the jersey look for Vegas. If you haven't seen their jerseys, I'll wear one in one of our next episodes and I'll show you if you look, or I'll post it on our page. But like they're like glittered. That sounds really tacky, but like they're glittered jerseys, and his pad
is tacky. But it's like it's so weird to describe. It's like a way to make them look shiny, just like these, and they did it really well.
Yeah. And I actually, when I bought my Vegas jersey, I was talking to the guy who was working in the store, and he told me that like after seeing these jerseys, a lot of teams actually thought that like shiny look was really cool. And I think there could be more of those in the future.
I just hope they don't do it like the LA Rams shiny jerseys that look like
no
freaking word art. But part of when I got to the pictures of Marc-Andre Fleury and I was looking at his pads and I was like, why do more players not take time to make their pads look cool and match, the branding of the team? Like, I know some teams do it and some players do it. Malcolm Subban actually has pads that they're either black or they're red, but they match the branding of the Blackhawks and they do look cool. And
the Pens have that sometimes. I know Casey DeSmith, whenever he comes back around to the Pens, he posts on Instagram a picture of his pads. For some reason, that's his go-to photo. But it's these nice white, yellow, and black, and it's very on with the branding,
which is cool. And I don't obviously designing a mask is fine, but when I am looking at a game from my TV, I can't see the details on your mask, but I can see your goalie pads.
Yeah.
So why not do something like colors with those? And I know they get beat up really easily. Obviously their sole purpose is to take hits from pucks and sticks and people. But you could change the color of them. They don't need to be plain white. That actually shows the puck hits more.
Mm-hmm. And Fleury's had some really cool masks too. I know I'm totally ignoring their main goalie, nothing but respect for Robin Lehner, great guy. But I just am holding on to this and I will never let it go. But he has some really great masks that are very much highlight the best of Vegas, the Vegas signs, everything looking cool. And it's not just they're painted on there. It's kind of graffiti-ish, which looks so cool. And the gold that he has on those masks are so bright. And I think it just their branding overall, I just think Vegas has done a great job. And I'm excited to see what the Kraken does because I think they're on a similar streak here.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see what kind of octopus goalie masks show up from Vegas. Or not from Vegas, from Seattle. But Robin Lehner is their starting goalie, technically. I know they're doing pretty much a two-goalie system there as well. They are. Yeah. He is 2-0. Marc-Andre Fleury is 1-0. While I was Googling Robin Lehner today, because I don't know a ton about him, I read about a mask story situation that he had in 2017 that I thought will be really relevant to our mask ranking discussion. And in 2017, when he was with the Sabres, he had a Donald Trump mask that he wore for Military Appreciation Night. And for those of you that aren't looking at the picture or haven't seen the picture, he has all of the seals for all the military branches. It's on the back, on the very back. And he has all the seals from the military branches. And then at the bottom, it says Trump in block letters. And apparently it was very controversial at the time. I didn't hear about it, but it was very controversial. He did this whole interview saying that his wife is from the Middle East, so he knows all the things that are going on overseas, and he really respected what Trump was doing to try to, mitigate all of those woes. And then later, he had to come out and denounce Trump because he had worn that mask. And he didn't even start that day, so he only wore it for the 15 minutes of warm-ups. But he had to denounce Trump because he no longer agreed with his views. And it was just really interesting because you never really hear about politics in the NHL beyond the civil rights or human rights stickers that they put on every once in a while. But I thought the story was really interesting, especially because the inauguration is this week. But
yeah, that's what we have for you guys this week. If you want more content from people like us, be sure to check out all the other podcasts on the Belly Up Sports Network. They have a great lineup of podcasts. We are part of that network. They have so much going for them. Definitely check it out online. If you haven't already, comment, subscribe on our video. We love making content. We want to hear from you guys. So definitely see us there. Follow us on socials, @SweetheartsPod on Twitter, Slapshot Sweethearts on Instagram. We are always there. We are always doing giveaways. We have so much coming up. So definitely be sure to check us out in your free time when you need a little more of us.
Yeah, let us know what you think about our goalie opinions, our goalie picks, and we will see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.